Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this show without the express written consent of the Financial Guys, LLC is strictly prohibited.
Securities offered through Peak Broker Services, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Independent Solutions Wealth Management or Blackridge Asset Management. Financial Guys Independent Solutions and Blackridge Asset Management are not affiliated with Peak Broker Services.
Alrighty, welcome back. Mike Lomas, Glenville Financial Guys, the place where money meets politics, and our weekly podcast. And maybe we'll talk a little bit of money today. If you like what you see, make sure you like us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. Boy, I look a little bit like
you're blurry.
I'm not blurry, but I look like I went fake tanning. And I did not go fake tanning.
You got that orange glow. You got that
Trumpish.
You got that Trump orange man bad. Yeah, I don't know what the
we'll be thrown off on Twitter now. Our YouTube.
Speaking of Twitter, at YouTube, we got to go to Rumble, by the way. So we'll be going to Rumble soon. I know we got an account set up. Fox News, it was a huge deal yesterday. Bongino had Trump on Saturday night on his show Unfiltered. Mm-hmm. And they edited his interview with Trump to put it on YouTube, and he was livid yesterday.
Trump was?
No, Bongino was. He's like, the show's called Unfiltered. Right. But the problem is, if what the Fox did was Fox knows the terms of service for YouTube and basically said, we can't put this up there or YouTube will take it down. So just like our previous video, they edited the video because now the communists that run YouTube decided that there will be no talk of election, alleged anything. You can't even say it or they'll take us off.
If you're anti-mask,
we're done.
you're gone. If you don't believe that
is still okay, but it's definitely it's the election. You can't talk about the election specifically. If you talk about
and COVID, that doctor got censored again.
COVID. You can't talk COVID or any of the medications. You can't talk anything that would be
helpful to actually curing COVID, which we have the cure for.
No, can't talk that. Yeah. So now the communists that run China, the Communist Chinese Party, are running our social media giants. They're running Google. They're running YouTube.
Party.
Terrible.
It's the Communist U.S. Party now.
It's the Communist U.S. Party, Democrat Party. It's unbelievable. It really is.
Well, the local Bisons, good news, they went back to playing baseball last night. And just right before the game, about a few hours before the game, they said face diapers required inside. So if you want to go buy a hot dog, you got to put a face diaper on. But if you want to go back out, you can take the face diaper off. These people are disgusting. It's disgusting.
Just so stupid. I mean, at this point, we said from day one, here's the thing. From day one, I go back and pull the clip, that this virus is probably going to do its own thing no matter what we do, right? The virus is going to take its own path. Early on, we looked at places like Sweden that did very little compared to countries like Italy that did complete lockdowns and forcing people to stay in their homes. And lo and behold, when you look at the curve of the wave of the virus, it hasn't changed a bit.
No.
I mean, marginal at best.
Not a bit, except for the economies of certain places that force face diapers on, because the Bisons, who desperately need people to go down and watch them, if you're outside the area, the Buffalo Bisons are the AAA baseball team here for the Toronto Blue Jays. They're not like me. I was looking forward to going back down. I'm like, okay, it's open. I'll go take the kids down. $10 a ticket. It's great.
Sure,
we'll buy
fun,
some popcorn.
Absolutely.
No, thanks.
No.
You lost my $50 or $60 or whatever I would have spent on pop and on pizza. So
society is going to be separated. I mean, we're going to get to a point where there's going to be two different Americas. There's going to be America for those that like freedom and liberty, that don't want to wear face diapers, that don't want to have vaccine passports, that don't want to be, removed from restaurants and YouTube and things like that. Then there'll be the other, side of the economy that, the Karens of the world that want to tell everybody how to live their lives, that want to tell everybody that you have to have a vaccine passport. They'll be wearing 2 face diapers and be vaccinated till the end of time. These are the folks, by the way, that are driving in their car by themselves with the diapers on.
They're relentless, though. That is one thing I give them credit for. They are relentless. They don't work. Somehow, that's their job. Their job is to go and tell you what to do, right? They live off the government, half these people, or are 30 years old, still living home with mom and dad, and their job is to go after you, and they are relentless.
The amazing part is they don't want to make their own decisions. That's the funny thing is they want somebody else to tell them, i.e. government, how to live their life, and yet they want to tell everybody else how to live their life as well. It's like, how about this? How about you just worry about your own life? But they can't. They want to force everybody else to bend to their will. There was a guy this week in he must have been in Washington, I'm guessing, but whatever. The one of the council members for the town council, city council, is a trans woman, right? Supposedly or allegedly, whatever. And did you see this video? It's hilarious. No. I find it hilarious. I'm sure a lot of people found it disgusting. It's the guy basically. He's an old guy. He's like 78 years old. We can play it here actually because I don't think it's been banned yet from YouTube. But there are some swear words in it, so it's not. But he basically just confronts this trans woman. Who I guess he's got a sign on the outside of his business, and he's like, nobody confronts you. That's the problem. He goes, you get away with this fantasy that you can put on a dress and call yourself a woman, and nobody confronts you.
Right. And
it's just and here she's he, she, whatever pronoun they prefer. I'll call them they. Here they are inside of the establishment giving this guy grief. Like why? If you don't like the sign on the door, look, if I walked up to a door of any business, this guy runs like a Star Wars shop, okay? If I walked up to a business and it said conservatives not allowed, I probably wouldn't patronize that business, right? I would probably go somewhere else, wouldn't you?
Give my money to somebody else. That's right.
But they have to just impose their will on everybody else. That's the game with these folks.
They shame you. They shame you. It's amazing, though, but when you shame them to go get a job, they run the other way.
You will bend to their will or they will shut you down, right? So they called for an Antifa protest outside of this guy's shop. Like, this guy's a 78-year-old comic book Star Wars store guy. I mean, don't you have anything better to do, like, seriously?
No, they do not.
No, I guess not.
They do not. They do not.
Real.
That's the type of top aide to Governor Cuomo, Melissa DeRosa, quits. That's a big one. She was a tough
pit bull
one
for him.
Yeah, pit bull for him, and apparently she did encourage him to resign. And I think it's just a matter of time whether he resigns or they impeach him.
Yeah, the over/under is Wednesday. That's tomorrow, according to the bookmakers in the financial guy's office.
I took Friday on Saturday. On Saturday, I took Friday. I said it'll be by Friday, but we'll see. I'm actually shocked that it hasn't happened by yet, but apparently he's negotiating, as you've said. So, what is he negotiating? Like, what is his pension, his private jet, his helicopter pad?
I don't know. Party for him? Who knows? Just CNN job? I'm not sure.
A CNN job? Is that part of the package? Oh, my God. Darn well that he's coming out as a CNN anchor. It's only a matter of time. California Secretary of State. Did you see this? Did California invent an audit-proof way to steal recall election? This lady, she's Secretary of State, and she wants to print your own ballot from home.
Right.
So just print off your ballot from home and bring it in. Oh, that'll be just jiffy. That'll safe.
Work out just fine. So basically, you can cheat, and there's no way to audit the cheat. That's what you want, right? So there's no way to determine how many ballots were printed, how many ballots are fraudulent.
Right. Like she's not going to print off 75 of them in her backyard.
No. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Daffy Duck. The whole family's going to vote Democrat. It's amazing.
Well,
the
Disney
sad thing is,
does.
We should be absolutely getting more strict when it comes to our voting laws. Everybody in America knows that the vast majority of Americans approve, like 60+%, want stronger voting measures. According to the latest polls, it's just amazing that these Democrats, as you said, Mike, they just don't stop. Oh, we cheated.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do more. We're gonna do more. We're gonna print out more ballots. It's just ridiculous.
There's no consequences to their actions ever, and they do seem to be winning, right? I mean, police. Just to look at the police, right? The police are now backing off these folks. They're not giving them tickets, or they break into a building. They're not running into the building anymore. They're letting them shoot each other, and then they're saying,
did you see what happened in Portland this past weekend? Because Portland, it was like something out of a 1950s movie. It was Antifa faces off with Proud Boys in the streets while the cops sit around the corner and watch them brawl. I guess that's what it's come to now. I guess in places like Portland and Seattle, I guess vigilante groups like the Proud Boys are going to have to now get together and fight the fight that the police are not willing to fight. And it was a great interview by one of the police chiefs.
At least the police let the Proud Boys fight, right? Did they do that at least?
They did. Absolutely. They just stepped back and said,
what happens is the Proud Boys are the ones that ends up in jail. Right? So, and I've seen that firsthand. I've seen them Antifa antagonize people like Stefan Mihailu, and then people step in to try to protect him after he's been antagonized. Prod him. Oh, look at Stefan! Look what he's doing, right? And these bad people come in and just start beating up people. These Proud Boys, They did not do anything. I've been there. I've seen it firsthand. They sit. They continue. They waited for Stefan Mihailu. They waited for him. So he was alone near his car, and they surrounded invited him. And some of these kids, after the Proud Boys gave them an ass beating, which they deserved, there was knives found, bags of all kinds of damaging stuff that could hurt them, bars and all that, So these guys, these dirtbags, and they're all kids. They're all suburban kids who think they're tough until somebody steps up. But unfortunately, the police are looking for the lady that's 85 years old right now that went into the Capitol building and was invited in by the FBI. That's who they're searching for, instead of Antifa, who's walking around with bags full of knives trying to hurt people. Yep,
I'm looking for the. I'm looking for the video. I can't seem to find it, so I must not have retweeted or saved it or whatnot. But
no, that's a gem. Back up. Why don't we show them that one?
Which one?
Yeah, we talked about it Saturday. The defund the police lady, as she says, it's okay for me to spend as much money as I absolutely want to protect me. This is Democrat mental illness at its best.
Well,
if you're going to say somebody's mentally ill on a scale of 1 to 10, she's at like a 15.
Yeah, Cori Bush, because she's the special people. Remember, we're the little people. So
right. Look at how much of a moron this lady is.
You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend 10 more dollars on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety nets. The thing.
Social safety nets, like what?
We don't have enough
more free
of those.
handouts?
Yeah.
So suck it up. You suck it up. Pay more taxes because she doesn't care. Representative Cori Bush doesn't care whether she's got to pay $10 or $200,000 more for her personal security so that she can fight to take away your safety and security. Yep. These people are dumber than dirt. I don't know how else to say it.
Dumber than dirt is right. Dumber than dirt.
Dumber than dirt. I mean,
Zero
holy
morals,
smokes.
Dumber than dirt. And that's it. Dumber than dirt. Dumber than dirt.
That's it.
How in the world are you saying, look, I'm going to go in and defund the police as I'm getting security? By the way, shame on any of these police officers that secure her. I saw Mayor Lightfoot the other day. The police turned their backs on her. The police need to.
That's
away.
What they need to do. Turn in your badge and go do something else. That's what I'd be doing. Sorry,
to be honest with you, that's where the unions need to step up, right? You want to unionize? Okay. Your leadership is telling you that you're the bad guys. It's time for you to unionize and say, you know what? If you're not going to support us, we're all leaving together. See how they like that?
That's right.
The cities, nobody's going to be here tonight. No, see how that works out for you.
My God.
That's what you want. See how it's going to work out for you.
It would be just, it's getting worse in all these cities. You see what they're doing in New York City now?
Another night in Chicago.
It'd be like a holiday weekend. Like, I don't know, like 4th of July weekend in Chicago, right? Or Memorial Day.
A lot of people would get shot.
Oh, my God. Do you see what they're doing in New York City? Now you'll love this one. Crimes under $250 are not going to be prosecuted anymore as far as the theft goes. So, good luck stocking the shelves in New York City when people just walk in, pick up stuff, and walk out because there's no consequence anymore.
So I go in the store, I go $249, and then I move on to the next store. $249,
and then I move on to the next store. It's unreal. It's unreal. Let me play this girl. We didn't play this. This is the Olympic weight. I think she's wrestler. Olympic wrestler. She's a breath of fresh air, right? I mean, finally someone who actually loves America. This is why, by the way, the Olympics are down by 30%. And by the way, before I play this video, she's phenomenal. I love this girl. She's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I hope she gets like a bajillion-dollar sponsorship with some great company in America. So a great American company, not a shitty American company like Nike. Or some of these Nike. We're gonna have social justice and paint Black Lives Matter murals everywhere, but we're gonna still use sweatshops in China because that's the right thing to do, right? By the way,
how about Disney? How about Disney moving their headquarters from California to Florida?
It's amazing. How about Subway supporting the loser Arapaho on the soccer team? Right. This is why the Olympics, by the way, the viewership was down 30% because, like all sports, people like to watch things like the Olympics to get away from things like politics.
Yes.
People like to watch football because they're sick and tired of the racist stuff being slammed and shoved down their face, right? They're sick of it. They wanted a break. On Sunday, the one day of the week, right? It's like Sunday, you want to flip on football, No.
Yeah.
And that's why these wizards of smart can't figure it out, that nobody's watching anymore. And for Subway, I'm not going to Subway anymore. I will not buy a Subway sub until they stop supporting America-hating traders like Arapahoe. Like,
more people need to do that, by the way. More people need to do that. That's where we need to step up and say, because we're the ones making the money, we're the ones paying the taxes, and we're the ones spending the damn money. Right. Stop doing it. I was at a meeting the other day. It was about 100 people there, and they said, "Oh, the media is corrupt, and what do we do?" And I said, "Well, first off, stop buying the Buffalo News." How many of you in here are buying the Buffalo News? Many of you are, because they're still around. So somebody's buying the damn Buffalo News. Right. Number two, do what they do. Call the mainstream media outlets, 247 in our town, local town. Tell them you're sick and tired of their garbage, right? Yep. The liberals do it. We got kicked. You and I got kicked off of AM Buffalo. You know why? Because a group of liberals thought full-term abortion was a good idea after we did that show, and they listened to them, right? But if conservatives called every day and said, "I'm so sick of your liberal crap, I'm not watching you anymore," maybe they might get the message, right? Yep. But I get it. We go to work. They don't. Right. I get it.
Exactly.
But still, got to step up and fight.
So this girl is just phenomenal. Let's play just a clip of this. $1 million smile. She is absolutely terrific. I just think she's phenomenal, and that's what we need
all
more
about,
of.
right? That's what I want to watch. I want to watch her. She comes back in 4 years. I want to follow her. I want to watch her. I don't want to watch these whiny, crying soccer players. How sad was it, by the way, that half the country wanted that soccer team to lose? That's right. Because they're such whiny bastards that make millions of dollars complaining about how hard it is to live in America. That's right. Go play for Iran. Go over and go play for Iraq. See how that works out.
That's right. I know. They're so ignorant. It's unbelievable.
Are women even allowed to play soccer over there? I don't even think they have a soccer team.
Well, no, they can play soccer, but if you lose, they kill you. That's how it works. That's you come home with anything less than a bronze, and you're dead. That's
you lose fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how ignorant folks are. And honest to God, though, it comes back to our education system. I mean, this is, we are not educating people at all. And the things that people are hearing, I have this conversation, I feel like it's daily with people, and that is this. Well, I heard from a friend who knows somebody in the ER that it's packed. I said, how about this? Stop listening to what people say. I mean that, right? Stop listening to the talking heads on CNN. Right. Go look at the statistics. Stop by an ER and pop your head in. I'm just saying, look at the stats, right? Yep. Just look at the stats. Don't look at the conjecture, the subjectiveness of what people say. Look at the stats. Let me pull this chart up, because this tells it all right here. We're going back into the fall. We're going back into mask mandates now. And this is Israel, right? Mm-hmm. When you look at the stats, okay, here we go. It started the pandemic last year. Nothing. All of a sudden, cases rise. April 12th, they put a mask mandate in. Okay. Things decline. Yay, we win. Coming back again. Double masks now. We go to double masks. And increasing enforcement on June 26th in Israel.
Looks like
Israel, by the way, apparently Israel has taken away all the history books. Anything prior to 1950 is no longer learned, because they're doing things like creating the same two-tier society that happened in Nazi Germany. How do you not learn from the past, especially if you're living in Israel? How do you look back and say, gee, we had a whole separate class of people, and they ostracized them. They stopped going to their businesses. They made them wear stars, and then they were removed from society, and then they led to the gas chambers. Like, hello.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Anyway, so here they imposed double mask. Oh, but this time it looks like it didn't work. Nope, didn't work at all. Oh, look at this. Spiked way up.
Boy, looks like those double masks. The single mask would have done it, but the double mask, that was too much.
This is the best, though. Now we get this decline, and November 1st, Wall Street Journal, masks brought down curve. Genius. Swear to God. Right? Where's the Wall Street Journal here on the second spike in January? Nowhere to be seen, Wall Street Journal here. Oh, look, comes back down. Comes all the way back down. They lift the mask mandate here on June 15th. 9 days later, they put the mask mandate back in, and looky here what happened again. Now,
unreal.
I don't know about you, but I'm looking at this like a lot of other things. I'm thinking to myself, doesn't appear that there's any sort of actual correlation between mask usage and lowering the virus transmission.
You could argue the opposite. you could argue the opposite with this.
Yeah,
you could
sure.
say the masks are actually causing COVID, but you can't say they're stopping COVID. That's for sure.
It's such a joke. And you could put the same chart up with lockdowns. You could put the same chart up in any country,
state
right?
after state after state, right?
State after state after state, right?
My favorite now is that, oh my God, this new Delta virus. The percentage of children in the hospital have exploded. Well, the percentage have because we've gone from 1 to 2, right? And you know why kids are in the hospital? Because their parents are scared to death because they hear that the new Delta virus might kill somebody, but it's not. We're not losing children all over the place. And as you pointed out yesterday, not only do the math, why don't you just look around your community? Why don't you just look at everybody? Look at if you have children, you probably know at least 100 other children. Maybe not real close, but 100 children. Go just do the day to day. Sit down and go, are any of those 100 children in the hospital for COVID? And how could that be with the Delta variant being as contagious as it is? How could none of them be in the hospital? Not one.
Right.
Not one. How could that be? Where are these kids? I'll tell you who's in the hospital right now. And we had a frontline COVID physician on earlier the week, or a PA on earlier the week. She's all out in the Batavia, Rochester area, and she's very familiar with Rochester Memorial and Batavia Hospital. She said, you know who's in the hospital right now? It's people that got vaccinated and had a bad reaction to the vaccination. That's who's occupying the hospital.
That's a lot of it.
Not COVID patients. There's not people on ventilators out in the hallway all over. It's people that got the shot and were sick because of the shot. That's who's in the hospital. It's people that immune systems went down because of the shot. 76% of the people in the hospital right now got vaccinated. How could that be? Where's the mainstream media with that story? I'd like to know that. I think other people would like to know that. Wait a minute, the majority of people in the hospital got vaccinated? Oh, but remember, Jen Psaki, we don't need to know that. You don't need to know those stats.
You don't need to know that.
That's not important.
Actually,
right?
I got a perfect chart for that. So let me. It is important. It's very important. Let me.
Very important.
I was looking for this Dan Rather tweet that he put out. It was, he put out this, he forwarded a tweet where somebody said, this child's in the hospital and we need to do better to protect our kids. And, picture this poor little girl. She's, young. Yeah. She's in a hospital bed. She looks okay. It looks like she's going to make it just fine. But the thing is, the parents wrote, we wore masks, we washed our hands, we social distanced, we stayed inside, we followed all the rules, yada, 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 yada. We got vaccinated, and we still got it. And are you getting it yet? Are you getting it?
Yeah.
It's
Let's see. So you wore a face diaper to really crush your immune system. You didn't go outside to see the sun and get some exercise to double crush your immune system, and then you wonder why you got sick.
Where did it go? Where did it
By the way,
go?
while you're bringing that up, England's did a study the other day, largest surveillance study estimated that almost 60% of 16 to 17-year-olds had signs of immunity. So 60% of England's kids have already had the COVID virus, the virus that's so nasty they would have had to be tested to know if they had it. So
I can't find it now. It disappeared. I had another tab up here.
At this herd immunity with these children because they had the virus. They didn't know they had it, but they had it, and then they've got better antibodies than the shot itself. So, but we should be leaving these children alone. Instead, we're not. Yeah,
this program is not as easy to work with as I'd like, to be honest with you. So we're using a new program here as we're streaming live called Riverside, and like that screen that I had before. Here's what I wanted to pull up. You mentioned I'll just do this, I guess, and then we'll have to right here. See this chart right here?
Yeah.
This is an important chart. See this almost negligible line here?
Yeah.
Right? So let me read this. This is the breakdown of COVID cases in Israel. Okay, you got total cases between May and July of about 8,000. You got vaccinated accounting for 3,000 of those. Unvaccinated counting for about 4,500. So out of about 7,500 cases, 3,000 were vaccinated people, and 4,500 were not vaccinated people. Now, the previously uninfected, not previously infected, unvaccinated people. So out of 75 people, now mind you, 90% of Israelis are vaccinated. 90%. So having 3,000 out of 7,500 be hospitalized, would you'd think that that's quite a few. But here's the key thing: is this little line right here? It's barely even measurable. See it?
The previously infected.
That's right.
Yeah. Why don't we talk about that?
That's right.
Why don't they ever talk about, hey, look, if you had COVID, you don't need to get a shot.
But
your
why
immune
would you?
System's the best it could be against COVID.
You have a way better a chance of having the right antibodies by having previously infected. Why would you force somebody to take a experimental vaccine that has all kinds of side effects that have been measured when this right here, this is the risk right there, right here.
Zero, basically.
It's
Zero.
not even measurable.
No.
I'm not even sure there's I think it might actually be zero.
Yeah. It's like 0.0 something percent. I mean, it's not the odds are almost zero.
So if you and maybe we can edit this in for the podcast, just put this in. I can't. I lost the screen. I had it up, and somehow there's not Windows, and I'm using Kelsey's computer here is an Apple, and I'm not used to Apples. But nevertheless, the thing is, we're going to freeze people out of society, right? You can't go into a restaurant, right? Remember Don Lemon? You don't have the vaccine? Can't go to work. Don't have the vaccine? Can't go get groceries. Don't have the vaccine? Can't go outside.
And in New York City, they're doing that right now. New York City, this is the final nail in the coffin there. That city will never come back. I'm convinced of that. They will never come back. Totally incompetent, right? So now they want a vaccine pass for you to go out and have a beer with your buddy at a bar? Good luck.
Yep.
You can keep it. Have fun. That city can be meant for the mentally deranged left, and you can have it. And when it's half on fire, and when it looks like the east side of Buffalo, the majority of the city, maybe you'll figure it out. But the reality is, I doubt it.
They won't.
Because you don't.
They won't. They'll need more money. They'll need more money and more time, by the way.
Yep.
This is, where is it here? This is going on in France right now, okay? This is in France. Not Egypt, this is France. What a formerly free country, we'll call it. Formerly free country. Checking passports.
What are they doing? Checking vaccination?
They're checking vaccination passports, yep.
What a
walking through restaurants, checking people's vaccination checks.
What a joke.
Oh, here you go. Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Here, take my wallet, too, and my freedom. Go ahead.
Well, they already did that. The taxes are, 60% there, 70%? Yeah. They already got their money.
Right.
That's the problem. You look at a place like New York City and think, how could this totally be? You know why? Because they don't care. Look at Erie County, right? They don't give a crap. How many times have we asked the health department to come on, Mark Poloncarz to come on? You know what? They don't need to. You know why? Because it's 7-1 Democrat to Republican right now in in New York City. They don't care. They have your money and they have control over you. And the same is true over there. They have your money. The tax rates are 60%, 70%. They were at 90 at one point.
The only way to do it is what they're doing. This is part of France as well, and this is what it's going to take is right here. Is everybody striking, right? Everybody striking. Don't have a vaccine? How about you don't get fire service? How about that? How about we don't have firefighters that volunteer anymore? How about doctors going on strike? Right? You want us to get a vaccine? How about that? How about no more doctors? How about no more teachers?
Love
How about
that? The same.
That's what needs to happen, right? Meanwhile, we're dancing with the stars, right? This is the perfect tweet. Whoever put this out there, Ricky Lee. Europe is fed up and on strike. Meanwhile, Americans are watching Dancing with the Stars. And he's absolutely right. We have no idea in America what's going on. Oh, it's just a mask on. No big deal. It's just a mask. Until they start going, restaurant table to table asking for your pass. And but let's say it's just a mask. Think about this. If you're an African American in New York City, 2/3 of you can no longer go into a restaurant. 2/3 of you are not going to be able to get groceries. And honest to God, I saw a BLM advertisement, a picture, and it was well done. I give them credit and they were spot on with it. The first time I've ever agreed with Black Lives Matter, and they put up a picture of this girl saying, I couldn't get groceries today. That's what you're doing, folks. That's what the left is doing to people. Well, that's what the liberals and the progressives like de Blasio and Cuomo and Gavin Newsom, that's what they're doing to people. It's not right.
Yep. What is something a company could do that would make you want to quit immediately? This is out of the COVID study that you were talking about before. First Trust, actually. Yeah. Sad to see this back, actually. They were sending this to us weekly, which was nice because we were actually sharing the actual real COVID numbers with people. And then it stopped. And it was like, okay, hey, that's cool because maybe we're finally getting away from this, but we're back. Number one is requiring vaccines and masks. And so 18% of people said that if their employer required them to get vaccinated or a mask, they would quit. I just hope they would. 18% is a much bigger number than people think. We're talking about these left-wing nut jobs. They're 1 in 100, but they find the other 1 in 100, and they gather together, and it appears like, you ever see minnows? Minnows, know this, Glenn. Yep. Minnows, like, they swim together, right? Because they appear to be a much bigger fish to try to scare themselves or protect themselves from bigger fish. Right. And that's what these left-wing nut jobs do. Yeah. Conservatives need to do this. There has never been a better time for you to advance your career and move to wherever you want to move. So I'm not saying, look, it's your deal. You quit, not quit. But if you're even questioning the fact that first of all, I wouldn't work for a place that's forcing me to put something in my body I don't want to, right? I wouldn't work for a place that's forcing me to put a face diaper on if I don't want to. But now is the great time to say, you know what? Let me look and see if there's a conservative company out there that I can work for. Bye-bye.
It's not our business. I mean, I don't. No. We have dozens of employees, right? We have dozens of employees across multiple companies, right, in multiple states. I've never, ever, of any of the people we've ever hired, said, let me see your vaccination card. Are you vaccinated for chickenpox? Right. Are you vaccinated for measles? How about the mumps? I mean, this isn't grade school. We're not going into kindergarten here, right? This is a joke. And honest to God, though, you're absolutely right, Mike. If you're not happy, if your employer is going to force you to get a vaccine and you don't want to do it, then walk out the door and go get another job. There are plenty, I assure you, there are plenty of like-minded, freedom-loving individuals in this country that run businesses that would be happy to have you. Okay,
Yep.
Don't feel it. Let the liberals, rot in their own filth, whatever organization, business, or county office they want to hang out in with their masks on. But what really bothers me the most about a lot of this stuff, Mike, is that none of these liberals and the elites especially follow any of their own rules, right? Obama still had his giant bash, no masks, hanging out with his buddies, partying, right? And for those that say that didn't happen, Glenn, that's not true. The pictures are out, folks.
That was the biggest tent party I've ever seen in my life. Where are the
pictures? Where's
the biggest tent party I've ever seen in my life. And it's Democrat after Democrat after Democrat. No matter where they are in the chain. Here in Erie County, Mark Poloncarz busted
Doesn't
again.
matter.
Taking pictures with his friends last week.
Here you go.
Hand in hand. Literally 3 days after he said, if you walk into a county property, you have to wear a face diaper. So why is it, Mark, that you can wrap yourself around 100 friends and have a party without your face diaper, but yet when we walk into the Rath building, we got to put one on? If that's not political BS, I don't know what is.
I haven't seen a mask. I've watched this video a bunch of times. Not a mask in the house anywhere, right?
She looks like she's following the rules. I'm sure she's 6 foot social distancing.
Here you go. Here's the giant waterfront. This whole backyard was one giant tent, basically. It was one ginormous tent.
The Obamas are disgusting. They're really disgusting people.
Where's the Lollapalooza picture? Where was
Hundreds of millions of dollars the Obamas will walk away with. Hundreds of millions of dollars telling you they're fighting for the poor. Look at the size of that.
Look how big this tent is. All the way down the water.
Ridiculous.
Look at how big that tent is. Huge. Huge.
Yeah. On the water? I hope that's not the ocean.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Because that tent's going to be underwater soon.
It could. I know. It's amazing. Well, Al Gore came out again and said, now's the time.
Not the time.
We have to do it now.
We're all going to die. We got 10 years.
He's a joke.
We got 10 years. Wait a minute, Al. You said in 1980 we had 10 years. That was 30 years ago.
None of these folks.
31 to be exact.
Here's Fauci, by the way. This is disgusting, these people. They get away. Here's Chuck Todd. Hey, Chuck. Maybe ask him about, I don't know, Lollapalooza. Hey, Chuck. Maybe ask him about
that of their families, but
Obama's
also
party? No.
The community responsibility to crush this virus before it becomes even worse.
You've brought up regionally the South, but out in the plains, in the Great Plains, we have Sturgis, South Dakota. There's a gathering right now of some 700,000 people. Last year, it was a smaller turnout. and it was over about 150,000 people, and it led to a massive outbreak in the Dakotas where they became number.
It was like 7 people that got COVID. They couldn't prove that was actually from the Sturgis bike rally.
It was like a dozen people out of 500,000.
Yes.
It was a massive outbreak. Give me a break.
Yeah, these
massive
people are
outbreak,
disgusting.
right? But no outbreak from the rioting in the streets at the same time last year, right?
Obama's tent party, which you could fit the whole Sturgis party into, just fine. Absolutely fine.
What a joke. Let's hear Fauci's comments. So he is such a piece of garbage. What is this copy video address?
This is the
Get
swamp.
out of here.
Right here. That's the swamp.
That part of the country.
Well, I'm very concerned, Chuck, that we're going to see another surge related to that rally. I mean, to me, it's understandable that people want to do the kinds of things they want to do. They want their freedom to do that. But there comes a time when you're dealing with a public health crisis.
What time? When does that end, Doctor? When does that end? 2030? When does that end?
Never. First of all, COVID and respiratory viruses like this typically stay in the environment forever, right?
Yeah.
Colds are around forever.
Yeah.
The flu is going to always be around, right?
And what'll happen is, like, I had COVID. If I see it again, my body will say you've been exposed to it. Maybe you have a little sniffles or something like that. I was a hero. I survived the first time around, right? I'll survive the next time around. My kids got it. I'm thankful for that because their immune systems should be protected for the rest of their lives, right? He knows that. He knows it. That's why Dirtbag Fauci gets busted without masks all the time. I'm sure Dirtbag Fauci was probably at Obama's party. I'm sure there's some pictures of him hand in hand, arm in arm with his buddies somewhere out there, right? Having fun, enjoying his night out, getting his freedoms, as he called it. Everybody wants their freedoms back. You know what, Doctor? We do. We do want our freedoms back.
But we just can't do it right now.
Right? 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
That's right.
That was one thing. 2 years to win elections. That's bullshit.
Well, the 2 years, the 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
This is right here. This is exactly the morons we're talking about. By the way, if you're listening to us, you really need to watch this on YouTube. I apologize because we're watching videos right now. This is another Democrat idiot who doesn't have his mask on when he's around people, puts it on to walk out to a podium.
This is a spokesperson. This is a White House spokesperson, right? Watch. You know this is they know the masks don't work, because look, if the mask worked, why wouldn't Obama be wearing it at his own 60th birthday party? Isn't it 60 years old? Isn't he at risk, right?
Oh yeah.
If the masks work, why was Lori Lightfoot seen maskless at Lollapalooza with 100,000 people, right?
It's
That's
disgusting.
the thing. It's just, look at this guy. So he's walking around behind the scenes, right? Now I got to take the stage. I better put my mask on quick and walk to 10 feet. Here we go. Get the mask on. Here we go.
Get the show on. Get
I'm
paid.
Good. Nobody sees me, I don't think. Oh, now I walk on stage. Hey, everybody.
Talk
Here
a little
we
bit.
are.
Oh,
mask
I've been wearing it all the
so I can
time.
Speak. What a joke.
I've been wearing it backstage with other
the whole
people.
Time. Yeah. I had this mask on backstage the whole time. What a joke. I mean, seriously. It's just, you just can't make this stuff up. Here, by the way, still putting forth the lie. The campaign to end qualified immunity for 7 years ago, Michael Brown was shot to death by Officer Darren Wilson, whose life was destroyed, by the way. An unarmed teenager had his hands up when Wilson shot him 6 times. Totally not true.
A lie.
Totally not true. But yet they continue to spread the lie. And nobody calls them on it. Nobody calls them on it. No media.
Chuck Todd's not picking that story up.
No. Pathetic. Let's move on to some budget stuff, because this is ridiculous.
Bipartisan infrastructure bill set for final Senate passage. Yeah. The fact that one Republican votes for this is disgusting. Exactly the problem.
18 Senate Republicans are going to vote on this. Sickening. Yeah. So these 18 need to be voted out. Here they are. Roy Blunt of Missouri, Dick Burr, Bill Cassidy, Shelley Moore Capito, Susan Collins, of course, you expect that. Kevin Kramer, right? John Hoeven from North Dakota, which is sickening. You got to come on, North Dakotans. Yeah. Both of your senators in North Dakota. You know what to do, North Dakotans. Get these clowns out. Now, my guess is most of these clowns that voted for it probably are not up for election in the next cycle coming up next year, because only a third of the Senate gets voted out every year, or gets voted on every year. Yep. Then we forget. It'll be far enough behind. John Cornyn of Texas. Guys, Texas, Dakotas, you can do better. Mitch McConnell, you expect him to be a rhino. Look at these folks, though. Mitt Romney, this is the Republican Party now. This is what we're voting for. It's sickening. Here's what Josh Hawley had to say about it, and he's
right. They don't
right.
need too many Republican votes to make it, quote, bipartisan at this point,
right? Exactly. It's sickening, though. It's sickening. You just voted on another $3 trillion, and guess what? It's a Green New Deal is what it is. There's no money in there. 3.5. Right? 3.5?
3.5, yeah.
Yeah, there's no money in it for the wall. Right?
Trillion with a T. With a T.
Oh, trillion, yeah. Trillion. Yeah. It's outrageous.
Yeah,
here's Josh
the
Hawley.
$30 trillion we're in debt now isn't enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not really about infrastructure at all. It's about woke politics. Why is President Biden so enthusiastically for it? Because it advances his far-left agenda. The Green New Deal, elements of it across this bill. The climate change agenda, it's stuffed into this bill. Quotas for this, that, and the other in this bill. So this is a bill that is about the woke political agenda of the left. It is being paid for with this massive pork barrel spending. And I just hope Republicans will open their eyes to what's actually in the bill. You know, when you get a bill this late in the process that's 2,700 plus pages long, sometimes it's tempting not to actually look and see what's in the bill. Folks should look and see what's in this bill. I think it's going to be awfully hard to explain.
3,000 pages, Mike.
How do you vote for a $3.5 trillion package and not read it? I mean, wouldn't you have all kinds of interns and people combing through this thing to help you go through it? There's not a chance in hell I would vote for a $3.5 billion infrastructure bill without understanding every second, every page of that deal.
Is this Rick Scott standing next to him? He is the creepiest looking guy I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry, no offense, Rick,
especially
but
the freeze.
I mean, he looks like who was the evil villain in Superman? Lex Luthor.
Oh,
remember him?
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Voters that we have gone along, or some Republicans have gone along with this kind of an agenda, this sort of a social agenda, this kind of pork barrel spending. And so I think it's absolutely vital that Republicans take a principled stand and say we're not going to be part of Joe Biden's left-wing agenda. We're not going to advance his woke political agenda. We're going to stand up for the principles that we share and believe in as Americans. We're going to stand up for some basic fiscal responsibility. And for those reasons, we're going to vote no on this bill. Thanks for having me.
Josh, you were wrong, unfortunately. Here's the clowns again that did vote for the bill. Again, sickening, right? Here's the clowns right here. Right here is your 18 clowns in the Senate that call themselves Republicans. As Dan Bongino nails it. By the way, I bumped into him on Saturday night out at, I won't say the restaurant because I don't want people to flock there because it's my favorite restaurant and I want to still be able to get in and have a table. But we stayed late. We were out with a couple down the street. It was my wife and I were celebrating our 22nd year anniversary. And even though we were a week late, but we were out to dinner, and as we were leaving, there was only a few couples left in the restaurant. As we were leaving, Dan Bongino was leaving. So I had the chance to say hi to Dan and tell him I loved his show, and he got mobbed by a couple other couples, so I left him alone. And then that was Saturday night, and then he went on to, I'm sure it was pre-recorded, but did the interview with President Trump. But, Dan says it best. Dan Bongino, he's got all these different rules, and what he says is right on. He said, most Republicans are Democrats, but no Democrats are Republicans. And he's right. There are no Democrats that ever side with Republicans, ever.
Nope, they
if
never
this were the opposite and the Republicans were passing a bill, the Democrats very rarely do anything. There's no Democrats or Republicans, but most Republicans are Democrats. Look at this list, folks. If your senator is on this list, of course, in New York, we don't have anybody that represents the people in New York, so we don't have any senators that are Republican. But the good news is I don't see Marco Rubio on this list. For Floridians, good for you, right? That's good news, right?
Yep.
So anyway, this is what you got. This
How
is
many
what you
people
got.
can fit in Florida, though?
Right. I know. We're out of room.
Florida's primarily swampland, folks. I mean, there's not a lot of room there. So.
Mitt Romney knows he's not up for re-election for a while, right? So Mitt Romney's useless, right?
But how is Mitt? Mitt goes to these national conventions and he gets booed,
right?
And he'll win again. I just don't get it.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope they send him packing. He's a clown. Mitt Romney and the rest of these clowns. They're all clowns, every one of them. There's nobody in Washington, very few people. There's like Josh Hawley, right?
Yeah.
There's a handful of folks that represent the American people. Nobody else cares, folks. Nobody else cares, right? Every one of these folks are there to line their own pockets. They could care less, right? And and the thing is, what's frustrating about it is they're high-fiving each other, right? I mean, they're, like after the cameras are off, you see Mitch McConnell giving a fist bump to what's her name? Let me go back to this.
Can't shut the government down. What's acceptable, by the way, from a level of debt? You know, it's funny. You listen to some of these economists, like, "Oh, we're fine. Okay, well, when are we not fine? When is it's $30 trillion now? When is it $60 trillion? Is it $100 trillion? When are we not fine?
Right.
When, as a household, do you get to the point where you just can't pay people back? When is that? Right. Because that's where we are as a country, right? Now, I get it. China's in debt too. China's actually got more debt than we do, but. Awesome opportunity right now with unemployment rates that could literally be at 0%. There is absolutely zero reason to have a big government stimulus bill. You know, cut the size of government, live within our means, force these people back in the workplace. You know, we should be shaming them, by the way. They shame everybody to say, go get your vaccination. Go get your vaccination. How about this? Go get a job. Go get a job. Pay your own bills. How about that? Right? Unbelievable time to be able to do that, to live within our means. These yahoos will continue to just pump money into the economy,
well, the
continue
whole idea
to cause
is to collapse the
inflation.
system.
It'll be $700 to buy a cheeseburger soon.
Yep, exactly. Now, if Mitch McConnell was trying to strike Nancy Pelosi upside the head and she was blocking it, I would say, great, you're doing your job, right? But that's not what he's doing, right? No. He's giving her the fist bump, right? Hey, we're going to party.
Am I invited to the Obama party?
Right. This is exactly what the deal is, right? There is one big club. It's one big club of elitists, right? They don't have to follow any of the rules they put on us, right? They fly around in private jets. They don't have to wear masks. They party at Obama's house. They don't have to wear masks. They go to Lollapalooza. They don't have to wear masks. They go to big riots and lootings in the streets. They don't have to wear masks or follow the law, right? None of the laws affect these people. Muriel Bowser in D.C., right? She passes the mask mandate, goes to officiate a wedding indoors, no mask, right? Then when they get caught, they say, oh, I had a mask. No, you didn't. There's pictures here. There's pictures, right? Gavin Newsom, right? No indoor dining, goes to a restaurant indoors, a French Laundry, with health officials. With health officials, he's in there.
Huddled together
indoors.
Yeah.
Indoors, with a huge table, right?
Yeah,
but
he doubles down.
Right.
He literally gets out of there, and they double down. They get out of there. They get busted. They get caught. They don't care because the mainstream media, the Communist U.S. Party is right there with them going, no problem. It was probably an accident. Just don't let it happen again. We're going to move on.
And the Democrats, the thing is, a good chunk of the Democrats, I would say half, right? So look at New York. And here's how you know. In New York, roughly 65 to 70%, I think it is, 72% of people think Governor Cuomo should resign. But 28% don't think he should resign. And so in New York State, like most of the country, you got roughly 50-50. You got 50% Republicans and 50% Democrats. So what does that mean? Well, that means that half of the Democrats, because none of the Republicans are this stupid, half of the Democrats believe that Cuomo should not resign after harassing a dozen women, right? Having a scathing report, having an abusive
I think it's over a dozen now. I think it's up to 13 now.
It might be 13 now, yeah. He's got criminal charges. So half of the Democrat Party are just, I don't know, with their heads in the sand. They have no idea what's going on.
Well, half of the Democrat Party is sucking off the system, and Andrew's been okay for him. He's been okay. He's been signing their paychecks
But I guess if you're a Democrat Party, Mike, are you okay with he gets to go out to dinner with his friends and without a mask, but I can't, and that's okay? Because why? Because you're giving me free handouts? Because
I guess.
because do they believe that they're the special people? I mean, is that what they think?
I don't know.
I don't know. Stupidity, I'm guessing. I'm not sure.
They are truly that stupid, Glenn. They are truly that dumb. They are really that dumb. I don't like to use that word, but they are that dumb. They are that dumb. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, those of you that will give us a negative comment, we get like one a week, right? We get like a good bunch of good ones. I love your show, whatever. Then we get one ignorant person a week, and I just think to myself, like, you're the dumb one. Yeah. And here's the thing: we do manage money for a living. We won't take yours. I'm just going to be honest with you. We have been set up for this polarized society for 20 plus years. For 20 years, Mike and I have been saying we are unapologetically conservative. I'm going to change that to unapologetically libertarian going forward, because I don't think we have much of a conservative movement in this country anymore. And honestly, I just want the government to get smaller, right? But we've been set up for this. Get out of our way. We've been set up for this for 20 years, right? If you don't think like us, if you don't like our politics, if you don't, I love the advice that we get from people, right? You're alienating half of the community. You could grow your business more. Oh, really? What business do you run? I'm just curious.
Let me tell you,
Yeah, which company and how many employees do you have? Which business do you have that qualifies you to provide us with one of the largest and fastest growing firms in the area to give us advice? Look,
nothing.
We don't want your business. Believe me. If you think like us, we have the pleasure and honor of working with people that are like-minded Monday through Friday, and that makes our job awesome, folks. Yep. Awesome. It makes our job awesome. We have a conservative safe zone. You are welcome to come into our offices in Batavia, Rochester, Buffalo, South Florida, and speak your mind. If you don't agree with us, fine. We'll have a conversation about it. I'm happy to debate somebody on actual facts and have a debate. You know, if you want to do that, if you disagree with our position on masks and you come into our office wearing a mask and you want to sit down and say, you know what, I'm conservative. I just don't agree with their mask mandates. Or policy. I think they actually work. That's cool. I'm cool with that, right? No problem. As long as you don't come in our office calling us a racist for not agreeing with you. That's fine, right?
That's my favorite. But somehow wearing a mask and not wearing a mask becomes racist.
Yeah, somehow.
I don't get it.
Well,
let's...
It does become racist if you're going to lock out 65% of the African-American community from restaurants and society. I guess that would kind of be racist now, isn't it? But if we're not vaccinated, exactly. But the thing is like, you know, the opportunity to work with people that think like us is just fantastic. And again, if you don't think like us, we don't care. I mean, you can have you're welcome to your own thoughts.
There's all kinds of planners out there that I'm sure will take on your money.
But you're welcome to your own thoughts. We're not going to tell you how to think, right? Don't tell us how to think. How about that?
Or tell you where to go. God bless you.
There you go.
Let's end on a positive note here. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis moves to withhold paychecks of school officials who implement mask mandates.
Yeah, he's a rock
star. Way to go. That's how you start to fight.
Well,
right?
Here's the thing.
Look at DeSantis isn't saying don't wear a mask. He's saying don't make my child wear a mask. That's all he's saying. You want to face diaper your child up, face diaper him away. But do not tell me I should put that disgusting thing on my daughter every day, right? God bless Ron DeSantis. The country so needs leadership like this. It so needs leadership like this. He's proving that he's a winner every single day as more and more people continue to flood into Florida. And I mean flood. There are people leaving New York City. The whole now you got to get a vaccination. You know, basically what you showed, that video you showed in France is exactly what they're going to be doing in New York City. They're going to be walking restaurant to restaurant. The health department will be taking over. Where's your vaccination card? We're going to go double check and make sure you're okay.
I hope there's not a single police officer that escorts these folks around. You want to go out as a health commissioner? Go out on your own. Good luck to you.
Go on your own. They will. They will. Police officers, we love you, man. We support every darn one of you. You need to step up and say, you know what? Cori Bush wants security. Let her buy her own security. But she can do it with her own money. We're not doing that. We're not supporting her.
What they do is they turn the restaurants on you, though, because what they do is they go into the restaurants and say, if I find somebody in your restaurant not vaccinated, I'm going to shut down your establishment. And so now you make the restaurant owners, you put them in a horrible position where now they can lose their business. And so you force them to enforce your ridiculous rules. I was at a bar back in, when was it? Memorial Day weekend in Buffalo, before things were kind of back to normal. Of course, we're going in the complete opposite direction now. But I went over to Buffalo Brew Pub. Right, I was down there with one of our CFAs, John Thur, and we're having some dinner on Friday night. Just a happy hour, grab some wings, a couple beers, and I sat down for a little bit, but then I wanted to stand because I've been sitting in the office all day. So I stood up, and the bartender comes over. You have to be sitting. I'm like, why? I don't want to sit. You have to sit. You have to sit on a stool. I'm like, it's like. I'm a pretty short guy. It's like 6 inches lower than where my ass is. I mean, I don't. Does it make a difference? I'm like, okay, I guess I'm sitting now, right? I mean, it's ridiculous, right?
They put him in an awful position.
She says, well, the health department. If the health department comes in and sees you standing at the bar, we could get fined and lose our liquor license. So that's what they do, right? They turn the restaurant owners into their own mini Stasi and Gestapo to enforce the ridiculous laws under threat of losing their business. I'm telling you guys and girls that run these, you have not been treated very nicely. Even the ones that have cooperated, they still screwed you, right? Why are you still listening to them? We need
even more.
It's time for...
When you cooperate with these dirtbags, you get hurt even more. Proof is us, Glenn. We called them every day. I called them for a 3-week period every single day, telling them we were not wearing masks and to come in, we wanted to talk to them. And they hid so far.
Because they're
all these restaurant owners would have had to do. This is it. And if you and I owned a restaurant, we would have had one encounter with these dirtbags. You know what we would have done? We would have put the camera cameras on them waiting for them.
Yep.
Hi, what's your name at the health department? Oh,
Right.
Rick Joe? Okay, come on, Rick. We want to have a little conversation with Dirtbag Rick. Let's get him on camera.
Yep.
This is the dirtbag right here who's trying to crush and put the final nail in the coffin in our business. It would take one of those exposures, and and every one of those little left-wing liberal wimps would have been hiding. Instead, not one restaurant owner in all of Western New York did that. Not one.
No.
Not one.
No.
In fact, we were begging them. I'm like, look, all you need to do is get us the video of this guy and the name, and we'll do it. We'll take over.
No, it wouldn't do it.
What
they really need to do is all get together and say, we're not going to enforce this. We're all going to just ignore the ridiculous laws, and well, not even laws. They're just executive edicts that they're putting out there. So just ignore it. Somebody said, called a radio show a while back and did it. It was a great idea, and I love this. As they go back to mask mandates and stores and crap like that, obviously a lot of people feel intimidated. Like they don't want to go into a Wegmans or a Publix without wearing a mask. Although Florida, there's no mask mandate, so most of the people aren't wearing masks. But people don't want to go into a Tops or a Wegmans without wearing a mask because they're worried that some Karen is going to get in their face. And there's been a lot of this. I saw a guy that was literally like almost like chasing down a woman. She's like, "Get away from me! You're threatening me." Now, if I'm in a store and I'm by myself and I see a woman getting threatened by a guy, I'm probably going to knock him out before I even ask any questions, right? I'm going to get in between. Nobody even steps up. Nobody.
Same.
I've watched people get their heads kicked in, and people stand there and just watch. Like, what's the matter with you folks? But the idea was when you go to Tops or you go to Wegmans, go with a group of your friends, right? Go with a group of your girlfriends, or if you're a guy, grab a bunch of your buddies. Go in and go without. If you believe in that, you don't want to wear a mask, go in without a mask. They can't kick you all out, right? They can't close every restaurant, folks. If every restaurant said, "We're done, no more," right? You guys have unions, you have associations. There's a restaurant association. Get together in a meeting.
Where have they been? I'll tell you what, though. We were on a lot of those original meetings, and we didn't own a restaurant. We were fighting harder than they were, and they couldn't get it. I'm like, guys, they're going to put you out of business.
They didn't get it all.
Well, maybe we can see if we can.
How about
maybe
the rapid
we can
test?
do a test, and then they can
What a
sit in
joke.
their car and wait.
Who was
and I'm
that
like,
clown?
Wow.
Who was that clown that said that? Maybe we give them
Marcella's, guy who owned Club Marcella's downtown.
What a joke. What a joke. Maybe we can give them a quick rapid test. They can go sit in the car and wait for the text message that they can get in.
Any idea how fast you're going to be out of business with that? Any idea?
Well, he deserves to be out of business.
How that's going to go to zero real quick?
Yeah, it's a joke. I mean, just unreal.
Right,
so anyway,
we'll wrap it up here. Don't forget about our Saturday shows, folks. iHeartRadio. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. If you think like us, 833 Fin Guys. We have offices Rochester, Buffalo, down in South Florida, Batavia, New York. Use our team as a resource. Don't forget about our home and auto division. We have over 25 companies that we can help shop to save you money. So give us 14 minutes. Let us shop over 25 companies. Our Medicare team, I say unfortunately because I can't stand the winters here in Buffalo, New York, and I do love the 2 weeks of fall we get, but it's only 2 weeks. So, but Medicare season is coming, and it's time to dust off those Medicare policies. Make sure you're in the plan that you deserve. Our team, by the way, can help you be the servicing agent on a lot of plans. So if you're already with a Medicare plan, but you just want somebody to sort of monitor that if something changes, it doesn't cost anything, and we can become what's called the broker to record on many of these plans. Use our team as a resource. AHIP certified independent Medicare reps, 833 Fin Guys. Glenn, you were going to add one more note before we go here?
Yeah, that's your. When I took my glasses off, that's why you're blurry. That's you weren't as blurry.
That's funny.
So I'm getting old, I guess.
All right, we'll see you next week here. Mike Lomas, Legal Financial Guys podcast. God bless.
See you later.